Welcome back.
The House Sisters podcast.
Sisters selling houses.
So one big part of the aspect of our lives and our business is the fact that we are moms. I mean, I have two beautiful daughters, Piper, who's just turned 6, and Avery, who's 7, but she will be 8 on September 4th. So 6 and 8-year-olds.
And then I have Peyton, who's 3.5. She'll be 4 in December. And then baby Bob, Robert Allen Davis the third. He is 11 months actually.
On September 15th.
Yeah, he's gonna be 1 in September. Oh my god,
1 month away. Pretty much.
Year went by so fast.
Yeah, no, totally. He's an easy baby. Like, he's not an easy baby, but he's
I feel
pretty
like both
easy.
my
But
babies
he gives
had
you
easy temperaments, and then Peyton turned 1.5 years, and man,
just until you spent that quality time.
sassy fans.
Yeah, seriously.
But yeah, he's a good baby. He eats good. He sleeps good. He's just got like this cutest smile. He scrunches his nose, so he's always like
the best. I love that guy.
He's got like such a positive temperament. Like
he does,
sweet,
and he gives you like that warmth back.
Yeah,
like when you interact with him, he gives you that warmth back, so you feel like fulfilled by it. Not just like you're doing all this weird stuff in front of a kid to make them smile, and they're all stoic. Like,
yeah, I feel like that's how Pate was. She would just kind of like she'd laugh.
You don't
at some
impress
stuff,
me,
but she was just like, "That all you got?"
Yeah,
and that's how she is
totally.
as like a kid. She's
just
like, I'm gonna push it.
I'm like, Peyton, I got you the stuff from Disneyland. She's like, did you see Mickey? Like, that's just her. Yeah. Where's Mickey? She's like, you didn't bring him home?
You didn't bring him home?
Yeah. So we both are working moms, running this business together, and our husbands are as busy. So my brother-in-law, Brittany's husband, is working for Sac Metro Fire. So he's a firefighter, and if you know anything about that schedule, I mean, he's gone for how many days at a time?
Well, technically, it's like 2 days on, 4 days off, but most of the time he's getting mandatoried. So he's like right before his shift, they'll call him in, and so he'll go like a day early, or he'll stay a day late, or he'll stay 2 days late, or like it just depends on the demand.
I mean, he's really gone up to 4 days in a row, and it's 24-hour shifts, so there's no break like where he comes home in between, and that's
where I can get like a 15-minute breather or anything. It's
tough.
Just on 24/7.
Yeah, with 2 little kids and all that. So we have busy husbands. My husband is he works for Elk Grove Unified School District, and he is in maintenance and operations, so he's a lead. He also has his general contractor's license, so he does a pretty decent amount of side jobs, like after work on weekends during his PTO. And then he also is an avid outdoorsman. So since the day we met, I mean, we got married the first weekend in September, and that was a point of contention because it's the Dove opener. But anyways, my husband is really active in the whole like wildlife
like,
stuff.
He has probably like thousands of decoys in the garage, and he's like, I'm like, Joey, get rid of some of them. He's like, no, and I don't even have enough.
Yeah, he needs different stuff. I don't know. My garage looks like a hoarder's garage, but
it is all hunting stuff.
It's all hunting stuff.
Ammo, hunting, freaking turkey legs just chilling on a shelf. Like, I walk by and there's like this big old...
Sometimes you walk through the garage and there's like a big dead turkey on the garage floor. And Brittany's
like all the feathers. Why like all the ducks are on the ground. I'm like, isn't that like not sanitary because you have to cook it? And he's like, you're not going to eat any of the stuff that's on the ground right now. I'm going to have to like clean it all up. And I'm like... That is so gross. So
by having a busy husband, I mean, he works a full-time job, he does side jobs, and he also is on his boat hunting.
Oh, like that's a job in itself.
70% of weekends, I would say, if not more.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Well, you do, but then you don't, because like sometimes you're like, it's cool because I have my freedom, but then you're always like, man, like I don't want him to miss this, or I really want him to be there. Like, and not only that you want him to be there, but you want him to choose to be there over hunting, because you're like, I want you to know, or I want to feel like you
prioritize.
You enjoy that, and like you are doing it for me, but like
because you want to.
He usually is just like hunting just trumps all. Things.
Yeah, it does, and
that's his first love.
Really, what it is? Yeah, it really is. I'm fine being second to that because I have a really close knit group of girlfriends that I like to hang out with, and it's just like girls' weekend all winter because he's on the boat on the Delta. He's hunting. When he gets home, he's tired. I'm like, cool, I got my mom and dad, Brittany, just a mile away from my house, and they'll take my girls anytime. So I'm just living it up. I just have a great group of friends that I super enjoy. So I do love spending time with my husband. And at the beginning of our marriage was a lot more difficult for me to accept the amount of time he spent.
Yeah, independent.
Yeah, but now 10 years into our marriage. Our 10-year wedding anniversary is on September 2nd this year. So, we're going
to Scotland.
And we're going to Scotland for our anniversary. I cannot wait. But 10 years into this marriage, I'm so used to and comfortable with and have accepted that he loves that, and it makes him happy, and it makes him better when he's home. And he's teaching my girls to hunt, and that is so rewarding.
Cool to watch it through Avery.
It's really fun.
I don't think Piper will ever get on board with that.
She's very scared of the dark, so I don't know. We'll see.
Piper's so much more like the girly girl, and then Avery's just will do anything.
She'll try anything. Yeah. She's not scared. She's not scared of movies. She's not scared of the dark. She's not scared of the boat at night. She just told me the other day that there was a 100-pound, which I don't know if this is accurate, but she said a very large coyote behind her and my husband and Papa while they were hunting turkeys. I'm like, okay, no one told me that,
a coyote,
a huge coyote.
They're huge.
Oh, I know. Yeah. And so I said, were you scared? And she was like, a little bit. That was like the first time she really said she was scared. She's like, it was pretty big. I was glad that it spooked off and ran off because
I would think
it was kind of creeping around, so.
Jeez, that is scary.
That's from a 7-year-old's perspective.
Brody faced off with a coyote when I was in Tennessee.
I believe that. I do believe that. That dog is...
He thinks he's a big dog, and he's a Pomeranian.
He thinks he's 150 pounds.
And I didn't know anything about coyotes at the time, so I ran after Brody running after the coyote.
Oh, boy.
And I was like...
Well, it probably scared him off anyways.
No, he was basically he wasn't running. The coyote wasn't running. Brody was running. He was kind of trotting, and you could tell his demeanor was come over here, bud. Come on.
He's like, I am not a domesticated dog.
And Brody's like, ah! Chasing him.
Small man syndrome.
And the house we were at was right on the edge of all this
acreage,
forest.
Yeah.
And so the guy or the coyote sat at the top of the hill and was just come on. And that's when Brody kind of because I'm screaming at him, he stopped and looked back at me and was I'm in trouble. And so he stopped and let me grab him.
Yeah.
But that coyote was probably get over this hill and you're done, dude.
Yeah.
So
that's
scary. I don't know.
Scary.
Yeah.
I would freak out. I would get a surge of adrenaline, I feel but
Yeah.
Anyways, but so
bringing that back to working moms.
Working moms with busy husbands. Yeah, we have a lot going on. We're constantly coordinating with each other, with our family members for help. And I think
open houses on the weekends,
showings on the weekends, meeting with sellers in the evenings, because pretty much we're on when people are off.
Right.
And it's gotten a little better with scheduling because of people
COVID,
working from home.
Yeah,
so we're not, but we're still doing a ton of nights and weekends.
Yeah.
It's just part of it, and it's fine. But I do think that the
balancing being a mom and giving that attention to our kids and our family is a little bit difficult at times.
But what I've learned is Avery, Piper, Joey, my family, you included, Mom, our extended family too, those are my reasons why. So if at any point I'm taking value away from my reasons why that I do this job and want to be successful, then I have to reevaluate my time. So really my whole thing is my Google Calendar is loaded. I time block everything. I know on Sunday, almost
be better about that.
Every day when my breaks are, when my free time is, I know I want to pick up the girls on Wednesday because they have a play after school, or I block that in, because if I don't, then you're running ragged, from one thing to the other, and people can be really demanding of your time, and they think, hey, you're working for me, you're providing a service, but I think we get more respect when we actually set boundaries. So, boundaries have been an issue for me in all aspects of my life forever, but
it is for everyone.
Yeah, but just getting into this business and for the first 3 years being at everybody's beck and call, I think there was probably some wasted time, and I think people appreciate me more now that I am a little bit, I'm much more structured and I have expectations, and we have those with our clients, we have those conversations up front and, all that. So I just think that the biggest thing you can do if you're in business for yourself is create a schedule.
Right.
What time are you supposed to be doing your prospecting? What time are you doing your outbound calls? What time are you scheduling your showings for? Obviously with flexibility, because all of our clients' needs are a little bit different.
Right.
But it's just really important. You have to have everything on a calendar.
Yeah. And now we share a calendar.
We do share a calendar.
We share our calendars. I do with Rob too. I'm like, hey, I need you to know this, but he'll accept it and then be like, wait, you never told me about that. I'm like, it's in the calendar. And he's like, I don't read that, Brittany.
Yeah, that's Joe too. He's like, I'm like, I told you it's in the calendar and I texted you. Yeah. Here's the text.
We had a conversation
like,
right before
I must
bed,
have
and
missed
he's like,
that.
I was asleep.
Yeah, but so.
But yeah, I feel like balancing work is, it is difficult, and I get mom guilt really bad. Like, and I know I'll always have mom guilt no matter how much I do, whatever I do. And I get, guilt not being accessible to anybody,
right. Or like being immediate in
your
responses and all of that.
Yeah.
Right.
But like I was watching this commencement speech that Shonda Rhimes did. She's the writer for Grey's Anatomy and like Scandal and them.
Yeah,
and she's did a
Bridgerton.
It is.
That's Shondaland.
Shondaland. Oh my God, yeah. But she was saying, I want my daughters, I'm going to read this. It says, I want my daughters to see me and know me as a woman who works. I want the example to be set for them. I like how proud they are when they come to my office and know that they come to Shondaland. There's a land named after their mom. Like, she goes on about saying, like, there are, whenever you see me where I'm succeeding, there is almost always certainty, or it says you're
almost always falling short in another department.
Says, whenever you see me somewhere succeeding in one area of my life, that almost certainly means I'm failing in another area of my life. Yeah. And so like I get that, and I always, that super landed for me. And although that there'll be times where I'm doing something and Peyton's like, hey mom, look at this or whatever, like I get a little piece knowing that like she sees this all the time, right? Which I do need to be better about, of like being present during the times that she's awake and home, because I need to just work after she goes to sleep or something. But she's seen like, this is a hardworking mom. This is what, so if nothing else, she's going to know, like, this is how I need to be, or hopefully it will convey and turn into her being a hard worker, no matter what it is.
Work ethic and
like,
strong.
this is the example.
Yeah, totally. And it does. They watch you, and I literally have a picture of Avery at 1 year old with a cup of coffee from her tea set and a little tiny play school laptop.
Yeah.
Copying me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is the cutest thing. I mean, that's one of my most cherished. That made me feel like, wow, like you have to be selective about what they see and what you say and everything, because they see everything and they will copy you. Believe me, my kids have said some wild stuff.
I don't have like too many wild things yet, and so I'm like, I was thinking about that.
I am kind of wild though, so you're more
nervous that they're going to repeat something that's out of context to somebody or something.
Oh, it absolutely does. Yeah,
your butt's really big, lady, or something. Like in the grocery stores, I hear that all the time. I'm like, oh God, please don't do that.
Yeah, or like when you see farted. Somebody, you farted. That one's happened to me in Save Mart a couple times, but or like when we saw a homeless person and Piper's like, what's wrong with them? And I'm like, they're homeless, let's keep walking, like we were trying to get to the car. I was like leaving Target and somebody was just like sleeping right there, and then she's like, why are they homeless? What happened to their home? Do they not have any parents? Like yelling across the and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, just get in the car, like come on. But anyways, they're all just gonna bust you out whenever they have a chance.
I know.
I swear they do that even more now. So, but I mean, balance, baby. We're all working toward it. So
totally, and I'm glad that my personality, I couldn't be a stay-at-home mom forever. I mean, no. I feel like before I had kids, I was like, oh, it'd be nice to like do well enough or like have a partnership with my husband enough where I could like do a job that like doesn't have to be focused on like a monetary
like it's extra money.
Success. Yeah, like it'd be like,
oh, we don't need this in order to pay the mortgage.
But it'd be like, this is what I want to do to give back, because I feel like my thing is like a lot of like I get really like a lot of like self-worth and satisfaction from like doing something, whether that's
like accomplishing something.
Yeah. And so I feel like, and most of it's like humanitarian based or like philanthropy. That's like
it's a
my
big
passion.
Philanthropy.
I feel like that started when I was in
high school.
Or
junior high. I mean, you
elementary school. I was a 6th grade president, fundraising for, all these causes and stuff.
And our mom is like a killer example for a fundraiser, because she literally can she could sell ice to an Eskimo. Like she is so good at getting donations and getting for a good cause,
Right, yeah.
Like she's like your front woman for sure if you want to do anything that
she definitely fundraised every single penny for cheer and
drill team and anything. Anything we were doing.
So. She like made it happen.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's an example of a hardworking mom. You know? She was a single mom.
She's the best.
You know, raising 2 girls with basically no help financially or support, like physically or emotionally, because her family lived on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So it's like we grew up.
Our
like,
mom's a survivor. She's such a fighter.
Yeah.
She's a hard worker.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we are the way we are.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we learned those characteristics from
watching
her. Yeah. Like we also picked up some bad characteristics.
We love you, Mom.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, but that makes us unique and fun to be around, right?
Yeah. We love it. All right.
But yeah, so hardworking moms, what else we've got?
I mean, I just think that we covered it.
If you're a mom and you're feeling guilty,
you're not alone.
You're not alone.
Whatsoever.
We are there with you. Don't feel guilty.
You can still be successful and be a great mom.
Yeah.
You really can. My kids love nobody more than me.
Yeah, same.
And it's
really hard. It makes things difficult.
Yeah, so it can be a little hard sometimes. They only want their glass of water filled by you and no one else. But
like,
I would say like they're proud of me and they respect me, and that alone, those characteristics that are being instilled in them is just enough for me to just keep pushing every day.
Yeah. Obviously, when you can be present and
totally.
I try and I super struggle, especially like when you're just so exhausted and like they get home
or you just have so much on your
dinner
plate
and you have like you have
so much work to do.
You still have work to do. Like Peyton wants me to like lay down in her bed and I'm like, I'm gonna fall asleep, and then I can't finish the 2 things I have left to do.
Or you sit there with anxiety for an hour because you're like, I need to respond, I need to respond to this email.
But ultimately, I'm like, I need to just shut it down. Yeah. Like, and that's another thing, setting boundaries. Like, but
it goes back to it.
But yeah, you're not alone. We're with you. And if you need any support or help or guidance or insight or just want to call and vent and
text,
let it out,
DM us. Yeah, we're here.
Call us. We're here.
We love our community. We love this community so much. It's just,
I love the mom community.
I do too. And I think it's funny because I think there's been a big change from like how judgy and everything it used to be maybe in the 90s, early 2000s. I don't know. I wasn't a mom then. But as soon as I became a mom, all I felt was support and love from other moms.
That, and I'm like,
just I'm people not telling me, you're doing it great. And I'm like, I suck. I am up 8 times a night. My kid won't stop crying. How am I doing this great? She's still alive. Do you love her? Mm-hmm. You're doing good. Yeah, you're doing good. So
yeah, I feel like I'm not the mom that I can like. I can't. I don't enjoy hanging out with the moms that are like so perfect and like put on, because I know they're struggling to find. Yeah, it's fake. But I love hanging out with like my core people that are like. I'm like, hey,
guess what? My kid threw up in my hair this morning. Yes. Life is kind of sucking now.
And we're laughing about it. And like, and I like, I don't even have to like text ahead of time. Like, hey, don't worry what I look like. Like, I've just stopped doing that. I don't care. I'm like, I haven't showered. My hair is all crazy. Like, I've looked in the mirror.
But I'm at the park with Cheez-Its.
Yes. Yeah.
So
did you say Jesus or
Cheez-Its?
Oh, Cheez-Its. And
Jesus is there too.
And Jesus.
He's everywhere. Yeah. Jesus got me here with the Cheez-Its. I forgot my kid at home, but.
Oh my God, I've done that. Not forgot the kid. Let me just tell the story so people don't think I forgot my kid at home.
Go.
But when I had Peyton, we got home from the hospital. So we're home. I think she might be like 5 days old at this point. And our dogs do something crazy, and our little dog jumps off the couch and hits his eye on the coffee table, and his eyeball comes out and is just like filling up with blood, and just like it's traumatizing. And she's asleep in her little bassinet thing in the living room, and we're just watching TV. And I'm like, first of all, I'm in jammies, no bra, nothing, like just look a mess. And
you just had a baby.
Yeah.
So
I'm still in my own diaper, waddling around.
Like, let me pick up this dog's eye. Yeah. Put this dog's eye in a bowl so we can take it to the...
It's still attached. It doesn't just like fall out. It still has like...
It's hanging by a string.
And nerves and stuff. So it's just like out. Like it's just popped out. Like it's still kind of... Anyways, so my husband at the time is in the garage working on like this mantle and... to be put up on our mantle, our fireplace. And so he's got this big chunk of wood in his hand. Like as I walk out, just timing wise, I run out. My first instinct when it happened was I grabbed the dog and was like, I need to put his eyeball back in. But then I was like, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm I'm doing? Like, this is not okay.
I don't know if it works that way. It's not a cartoon.
It's not. And
I'd have loved to see that.
I scoop him up and I run out because this is my first baby. He was my...
Both are your first baby, the one you almost left at home and the dog.
And so I run out into the garage and Rob's got this big thing and I'm like, save him, do something. You're an EMT, figure it out. And he's like, what do you want me to do? I'm like, we gotta go to the hospital. And so I'm like, get in the car. And he's like trying to put he puts the wood, or he has the wood in his hand and Brody at this point because I handed him Brody while he has this like huge heavy piece of wood. I'm sure it was like 60 pounds or something. Like it was a big piece of wood. And so he's like putting that down and he's like trying to get his all of his tools like put away so we could close the garage. And I'm like, screw your tools, get in the car. And I'm like, I still don't have shoes on. I'm in the car already with the keys in the ignition, like still in my jammies, no shoes. I'm like, get in the car, the window's down. And he's like, I gotta put my tools away. I'm like, screw your tools, get in the car. And he opens the passenger door and he looks at me and he's like, where's our baby? And I was like, oh no, I forgot that we have
They
a
were
baby.
still in the driveway.
Yeah, we were still in the driveway. I was like, you get in the car, you drive, you take him, I'll stay with the baby. And then I called the neighbor that is one of our close friends and was like, can you stay with the baby? My other baby is dying.
Yeah.
Like, I was so scared.
So
long story short.
It was a near close
I don't know.
slip up.
It was,
She'd only been a mom for a few days, so
Right, yeah.
Sometimes you forget your
And if you want to know what happened to Brody, just look at the Instagram. I'm sure you'll see him. He's a little pirate.
Yes.
We tried to save the eye, but it didn't work.
Yeah.
Long story long.
Long story long.
Yeah.
Brittany's good for those.
Yep. So we'll just wrap that up at that point.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for going down that wormhole with us. We
Yep.
appreciate you. Mm-hmm. But anyways, this is
The House Sisters. Sisters selling houses.